What do you do when your family expects everything from you but refuses to acknowledge your value? Lily had always been the giver. Her family relied on her, and without hesitation she supported them, half of her paycheck each month, ensuring their comfort. But when her wedding day approached, her mother demanded she cancel everything to save the family business, a business her brother had ruined. When Lily refused, her mother slapped her across the face. Lily had always been the dependable one, the person everyone leaned on, the one who sacrificed her own happiness for them. But this time she was finally standing her ground. Stay tuned to see how Lily reclaims her life. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories. I had always been there for my family, giving them nearly half of my earnings every month, doing everything I could to make their lives easier. But then my mother demanded that I cancel my wedding to save the family business, a business my brother had driven into the ground with his reckless spending. When I refused, she struck me hard across the face. The force sent me stumbling backward, crashing into the wall. I'm Lily. For as long as I can remember, I have been the glue holding my family together. The responsible daughter, the reliable one. I gave, I supported, and I sacrificed, always hoping that one day my parents would see me for who I was, not just for what I could provide. Now a project manager, I had built a successful career, yet it often felt like my life wasn't my own. From the moment I started earning, I gave nearly half of my income to my parents, ensuring they lived comfortably no matter the toll it took on me. Meanwhile, my younger brother, Thorn, 5 years my junior, was their golden child. No matter what he did, he was showered with praise, admiration, and the best of everything. In contrast, I was the responsible one, the one expected to step up when needed. I kept giving, kept sacrificing, hoping they would appreciate me beyond what I could provide. But everything changed when their demands became unbearable. Thorn had taken over the family business, a once thriving enterprise my parents had worked tirelessly to build. They adored the idea of him carrying their legacy forward, often boasting about how he would take it to new heights. Instead, he was leading it toward destruction. His poor management, reckless financial decisions, and continuous mistakes had left the business in ruins. And as always, they turned to me, the reliable one, to clean up the mess. Just days before my wedding, my mother called me. "Lily, we need you to help us," she said, her voice calm as if this was just another routine favor. "The business is in trouble. And your brother, well, he needs a little support to get it back on track." A knot formed in my stomach. For once I was planning something for myself. My wedding, my future, my happiness. And yet here she was, expecting me to sacrifice it all to fix Thorn's mistakes. "Mom," I responded, struggling to keep my voice steady as frustration built inside me. "I've always supported you, but I can't bail out the business. I have my own future to think about." Silence followed. A heavy, suffocating silence. And then her voice, colder than I'd ever heard it before. "So you're just going to abandon us? After everything we've done for you? You're going to walk away?" I took a deep breath, my heart pounding in my chest. "I'm not abandoning anyone, Mom. I'm choosing to prioritize my life for once. I'm getting married and I can't risk everything I've worked for." Her tone sharpened. "Lily, this isn't just about money. It's about family. Your father and I have always relied on you. Thorn needs you. If you don't step up now, this business could collapse." My pulse quickened as I absorbed the weight of her expectations. It was as if my dreams didn't matter, as if my sole purpose was to serve them and protect Thorn. "I can't, Mom," I said firmly. "I've given you so much. It's time Thorn takes responsibility." She hung up without another word, but the weight of her disappointment lingered in the silence. The next day, as I sat in my apartment reviewing the final details for my wedding, a loud knock echoed through the room. I opened the door to find my mother standing there, her face twisted in anger. "What are you doing here?" I asked, caught off guard. Without hesitation, she pushed past me, stepping inside without so much as a glance. "How could you?" she spat. "How could you turn your back on us when we need you most?" I took a step back, stunned by the fury in her eyes. Mom, I'm not turning my back on anyone. But I've done everything you ever asked. I've given you almost half my salary every month. I'm days away from getting married. I can't throw my future away to fix Thorne's mistakes. Her expression darkened. Before I could react, her hand struck my face with a sharp slap. The sting radiated across my skin, leaving me speechless. "How dare you speak to me like that?" she screamed. "After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? You don't disobey me, Lily. You owe this family everything." My cheek burned, but the pain in my heart cut deeper. This was the moment I realized I had never truly mattered to them. Only what I could give them did. My sacrifices, my love, my support. It was never enough. It would never be enough. I took a shaky breath, fighting back the tears. "Mom, I can't keep sacrificing my happiness for everyone else. I love you, but I won't let you control my life any longer." She sneered, crossing her arms. "Fine. But don't expect us to be there for you when you come crawling back. You're making a huge mistake, Lily. Don't come running to us when your selfishness catches up to you." Her words were meant to cut deep, but for the first time they didn't. Instead, a strange sense of freedom washed over me. A weight I had carried my entire life lifted from my shoulders. I didn't need her approval. I didn't need their validation. This was my life, and I was finally taking control of it. After my mother stormed out, I stood there in silence, letting the realization sink in. My cheeks still throbbed from the slap, but the emotional wound was far greater. I had spent my whole life being the perfect daughter, the dependable one, the provider. But to them I was nothing more than a resource to be used. That evening, Astor came over to finalize wedding plans. The moment he saw my face, his expression darkened. He walked over, gently placing his hand on my cheek, his eyes filled with concern. "Lily, what happened?" I tried to steady myself, but my voice wavered as I explained. "My mom, she came over and slapped me. She demanded I drain my savings to bail out the family business right before our wedding." Astor's jaw tightened, his arms wrapping around me protectively. "Lily, you don't deserve this. You've given them everything and they just keep demanding more." I swallowed hard. "I know. But it's difficult. I spent my entire life trying to make them proud, to be the one they could always count on. And now it feels like they only see me as a source of money and support." He held me closer, his voice unwavering. "You are more than that, Lily. Your dreams matter. And you don't have to feel guilty for choosing yourself this time." His words shattered the walls I had built around my heart. For the first time I felt seen. Astor wasn't just my fiancé, he was the one person who truly stood by me. In the days leading up to my wedding, the messages from my mother didn't stop. Texts, voicemails, emails, each one more desperate and accusing than the last. "Lily, you're making a huge mistake. When this wedding falls apart, don't expect us to welcome you back. Family comes first, and you're putting yourself above everyone else." I deleted the message without responding. The guilt and shame that had once controlled me had no power now. Choosing myself wasn't selfish. It was my first real step toward living my own life. The night before the wedding, Aunt Violet called. She had heard about the fallout with my parents and wanted to check in. "Lily," she said gently, "I know your mother's been saying some harsh things, but I want you to know, you're doing the right thing. You've given more than enough to this family, and you deserve to be happy." A lump formed in my throat. Aunt Violet had always been one of the few who cared about me, not for what I could give but for who I truly was. "Thank you, Aunt Violet," I whispered, my voice thick with emotion. "It's just hard letting go. I keep wondering if I'm making the wrong choice." "You're not," she replied, her voice warm and reassuring. "You're finally choosing yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that." Her words, simple yet powerful, eased the weight pressing on my chest. With Aunt Violet's and Astor's unwavering support, I was ready. I was stepping into my wedding day not as someone bound by obligation but as someone who had chosen a future for herself. The morning of the wedding arrived. As I prepared, a sense of calm washed over me. The usual anxiety I felt at family gatherings was gone, replaced by quiet resolve. Today was mine and Aster's, a celebration of a new chapter we had chosen. Dressed in my gown, I stood before the mirror and saw a different version of myself. A woman free from the weight of family expectations, finally able to embrace her own path. Aster's family and my closest friends were there, eager to share in our joy. Aunt Violet's comforting presence reminded me I wasn't alone. As I walked down the aisle and saw Aster waiting, his face lit up with pride and warmth. It was a look that said, "I see you, Lily, the real you." At that moment I knew everything I'd endured, all the hardship and sacrifice, had led me to this moment of pure freedom. We exchanged vows, promising to stand by each other, to see and support each other in ways I had never experienced before. Aster's words were a balm, healing years of pain from feeling unseen and undervalued. After the ceremony, we gathered for a small, intimate reception. It was simple, filled with laughter, love, and genuine happiness. No pretenses, no obligations, just people who celebrated me for who I was, not what I could provide. As the night wound down, I felt peace unlike anything I had ever known. My parents and Thorn had chosen to distance themselves, but I had chosen to build a life that was truly mine. Days after the wedding, Aster and I packed our things and moved to Austin, ready to start fresh, free from my family's expectations. But the transition wasn't without challenges. Just days after settling in, my phone buzzed. It was my mother. "You abandoned your family. You chose yourself over us. When things go wrong, don't expect us to be there for you." The words cut deep, but for the first time I read them with strength. I recognized them for what they were, manipulative tactics meant to pull me back. But there was no familiar tug. Instead, I felt quiet confidence. I had made the right choice. Aster noticed the change in me one evening as we sat on our balcony, the Austin skyline glowing in the distance. He wrapped his arm around me, his voice steady and warm. "Lily, I'm proud of you. I know it hasn't been easy, but you've come so far. You're free now." His words filled me with a sense of accomplishment I hadn't even realized I needed. For years, I had been weighed down by the pressure to be the perfect daughter, the unwavering supporter. Now for the first time I was living for myself. Weeks turned into months, and life with Aster became everything I had hoped for. We dreamed of the future, planned our next steps, and imagined starting a family. Our life was simple but ours, free from the toxic cycle I had been trapped in for so long. One afternoon I got a call from my cousin Basil. He had heard everything and wanted to reach out. "Lily, I just wanted to say I'm sorry," he said. "I don't know why they treated you that way. You've always deserved better." His words hit harder than I expected. I hadn't anticipated an apology, but hearing someone from my family acknowledge my pain meant more than I could express. "Thank you, Basil," I replied softly. "It's been hard, but I'm finally in a place where I feel free." His call reminded me that while I had distanced myself from my parents, there were still people who cared. Over the next few months, I rebuilt the relationships that mattered. Aunt Violet, Uncle Jacob, a few cousins, and close friends. They saw me for who I was, not just what I could give. But my relationship with my parents remained fractured. The years of manipulation, the slap, the way they always prioritized Thorn over me, it was hard to forget. Every time I thought about reaching out, the pain resurfaced. I had to accept that my life was better without their influence. Then months after the wedding, I received a final message from my mother. It was short, almost desperate. "I miss you, Lily. Please call me." I stared at the screen, feeling the familiar tug of guilt. But this time I didn't waver. I looked around at the life Aster and I had built, the peace I had fought so hard for, and I knew what I had to do. I typed a simple, firm response. "I'm happy with the life I built. I can't go back to what it was. I need to move forward." As I hit send, a wave of closure washed over me. I had let go of the past, the expectations, the obligations, the weight of everything that had held me down for so long. I turned to Aster, to the life we were creating together. And for the first time in my life I felt truly free. What do you do when the people who are supposed to love you most only take, demand, and manipulate, leaving you with nothing but guilt and exhaustion? Lily had always been the dependable daughter, giving everything to her family, her paycheck, her dreams, her happiness, hoping they would finally see her worth. But when her mother demanded she cancel her wedding to bail out her brother's failing business, Lily realized she was nothing more than a tool to fix their mistakes. The slap across her face was the wake-up call she needed. For the first time, Lily chose herself. She refused to keep sacrificing her happiness for people who only saw her as a source of support. Her family didn't understand, but that was okay. Because for the first time she was free to live for herself. What would you do in Lily's shoes? Would you have walked away sooner, or would you have kept giving, hoping things would change? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.